Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Great to be back again. Welcome to the Power Matrix. This is a show, well, I mixed them together, the Power Time show and the Matrix Doctrine. Oh, hold on there, baby. We got to shut this down. We got to we got to cut that down. Just had to make sure that I was listening to everything. But I don't know if the music was coming through. I hope it was. Uh All right, it seems like it wasn't because the only thing I heard was my voice. But this is a show about no more welfare, and I'm not just talking about no more child support. And I'm not talking about child support as we customarily know that. I'm talking about that too because I think there's the way that society is structured now. It allows a lot of women to just dump on men however they want, and I think that needs to be cut out. If women are so strong and they don't need men and all of this stuff, then okay, prove it. Stop spreading your stuff for the world, getting pregnant, and then dumping it on somebody else. If it's your body and your rights, you have the right to do what you want with your body. Then that means you have to take responsibility for your body. You make all of the choices from the time that you meet a man to the time that you let him in your bed to the time that you get down busy freaky with him to the time that you get pregnant and have a child. That's every step of the way. That is your choice and your responsibility. The man has no responsibility, none whatsoever, unless he's marrying you. You have a right, it is your body. You have a right to make sure that you are protected from all diseases, all forms of uh, birth control. That's all on you. You're supposed to make sure he wears the condom. You're supposed to make sure that is your body. And he has no right to make demands on your body. So if you allow him to go up in you raw, that's on you. So don't blame it on the other person. Take responsibility for your life. Let's stop dumping these things on the government, and let's stop making you because that's that's going to be another topic for another day. But the responsibility is that the burden should fall on you. You want to be a free, liberated woman, be a free, liberated woman. Take responsibility for your body that you have full control and full responsibilities for. It's up to you to do what you're supposed to do with your body. That means no matter who you let in your bed, you're supposed to ensure your safety from being pregnant or catching any type of diseases. And that means making him bag it or you make sure that you're protected one way or the other or both. It's still on you. You can't then let the man go raw and then say, oh, he's a dirty individual for what he did to me. No, that's what you did to you. You allowed the soul. Why should that person then be held responsible for what you allowed on every stage of the relationship? From meeting him to bedding him to being pregnant and bringing a life into the world. This is we foster weakness. That's what the United States does. It set up a system that fosters weakness. Now, it's not only that there are weak people. Okay, we understand that people are going to be weak. We're in any society. There's going to always be the weak and the strong. Always. If everybody was weak, somebody's going to be complaining about how much more weak the other person is than the other one. So there's always going to be a level of weakness and there's always going to be a level of strength. So you can't, it's impossible to destroy that. It's impossible. Even man, we've so-called civilized the world, and they're not happy. They're talking about we need to get rid of the strength in the world, the strength of men in the world. That's what they're talking about. So they're fostering weakness. They promote weakness. That's all you see in the media today. Is all they talk about is weak, weak, weak. We need to be weak. All of this pushing feminism is weakness, because you know what you never see. A woman can never say, and this is not me trying to put a woman down. A woman can never say that she's the best in the world at anything unless she can beat a man. A man can say, I'm the champion of the world. I'm the champion of this, that. I'm the best in the world at something. But until a woman can beat a man in that thing, she can never say that she's the best. She can only say she's the best amongst women, but she can't say that she's the best in the world, period. And that's not me pushing anything on anyone. This is a fact. You can't say that you're the best if there's still somebody over you who can do better. And that's just the reality of things. So that's what this whole no more child support. Let's stop taking care of the babies of the world. Let's grow the fuck up. The world is forcing, we're turning into a bunch of children. And this feminist movement is that's what the whole thing is, turning people into babies. That's why you see what we get in the world today. We get all of this ridiculous things that you see. And I'm talking about no more child support, as far as having women suing men for their hookups because they have a child. Let's get rid of this thing, because you have to be responsible for yourself. If the women start taking responsibility for themselves and their bodies, then you'll see that this whole thing will go away. Because if they're forced to take responsibility, if there's no more child support, then a woman has to take responsibility for what happens to her body and and with the children that they're bringing into the world. And maybe they won't be picking these deadbeat dads. They'll be a whole lot more choosy about who they allow to in their bed, especially raw dogging it. You know what I'm saying? You can't be just laying up with somebody and throwing it at people and then expect that they should pay for what your actions allowed to happen. You just gotta have to step up to the plate. Do what you need to do for yourself. No more child support. Stop. We can't let. You can't keep digging in men's pockets. This can't be a free paycheck for women, and that's what a lot of it is. They get pregnant knowing that they can just go to Big Daddy government and make them bring out their enforcers and force men into a situation that there was no intentions for in the first place. Women want to hook up today just as much as men. So why should men be put on the line for something that was just intended as a hookup? It's a woman's body. It's her responsibility. She has a responsibility to be far more judgmental with who she allows in her bed, how she treats her own body, and the conditions that she sets herself up for. You just can't go running around all willy-nilly doing whatever it is you want to do and then say, well, it's his fault. No, it's your fault. It's your fault. Topic. That's what I should have. It should have been your fault. It's your fault. That's probably what's going to be the name of this video. It's your fault. You can't blame somebody else unless you was involved in one of those nasty assaults. Then you shouldn't be talking about the next person's responsibility. You should be talking about yours because it's your responsibility to take care of your body. You got women out here today who I don't know the situations here, but you have people out here who are suffering. They claim they're suffering. What the heck is this? Oops. Where did my Okay, here we go. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm messing up my story. Here we go. So today we've been having we well, I don't know if this is today, but this is the end of this is July 5th. Okay. Damn near close. I'm serious. I am seriously about to be homeless. Supermodel says Peter Nagard hasn't paid child support since January. Okay, American model Beverly Peel says Peter Nagar hasn't paid child support in more than 6 months, and she fears that if he doesn't pay, that her and her children will be homeless. So if she's a supermodel, they say that supermodel, she doesn't look like a supermodel. She looks like she's a little out of shape, but to be a supermodel, usually supermodels are kind of on the thin side, I would say, and she looks like she's put on some pounds. Uh, so, as far as supermodel structure is concerned, and as a supermodel, that's the only income you depend on. If you're a supermodel, you don't have any other interests that can garnish you some kind of income, that you would be homeless. You can't downsize. You might be out of the extravagant home that you was living in as a supermodel, but you can downgrade to something a little bit better, more comfortable for your financial circumstances at the time. I don't know because I don't know. I didn't see the CBS News report, so I don't know. She says our lights and gas are out, turned off uh, for late payments. So she said for late payments, not for no payments at all. Well, I guess whatever struggle she's having, as well as the phone. Okay, so she has no phone. She has no uh, lights. Well, if you don't have no lights, you don't have no television, no internet, no anything. And without the cell phone, I guess she's having a cell phone. I got a house phone with a cell phone, but not everybody does that these days. And let me see. I am seriously about to be homeless. My son Trey needs this money bad. Okay, I have never been in this situation before. Nigard is the father. Nigard is the father. That's I don't know if she's trying to say nigga. I'm hoping this dude is real. Peter Nigard. Okay, Nigard, whatever. Uh, it just sounds funny. He's 17. Is the father of Peel's 17-year-old son. He's 17. How come he's not working? We used to be able to get working papers at 16, even though it'd be difficult to find jobs these days. But still, get out there and help your mama. She says the first she didn't want Nigard to know. Hey, what? That's another thing. How you not gonna want the father to know, but you want him to pay? You don't know that you don't want the father to know that he's a father, but you want him to pay. This is what I'm talking about. You can't have it both ways. You need to stay married to the dude. If you're going to have a baby for a man, you need to stay married to him so that you can raise the children. And then you won't have these issues. If he's got money to pay, that means he had money to keep you behind and put in the house. If you would have got married to the dude, stayed married to the dude, you wouldn't have these issues. We make it so easy for women to leave relationships, and that's wrong. We got to make it difficult because they're doing it just for the money. They can leave, they can get into a relationship, have their children, and then leave and make sure that the man pays for it. No, you should make sure your behind stays in the relationship until your children are grown. Let's stop putting it on it. Now, if you married, I believe if you married the man and you get divorced, okay. But single people having babies out of wedlock, that's on the woman. That's your responsibility, your body. You have no reason not to keep yourself under control in some way or fashion. That's your responsibility. The man's responsibility is if he chooses to. If he chooses to take care of the baby, then okay. But there's no responsibility to. There's no guarantee. And that's how it should be because women are free, individual, strong, independent women, right? If you're strong and independent, then that means you should be responsible for yourself and your body, not the man. That means you are responsible for conversing with this man from the giddy up. You needed to find out who he is as an individual. Is he interested in you in a long-term relationship? If y'all hook up and get pregnant, is he going to be there? If not, any of those questions of no, then you shouldn't be with him. And if he's lying, then it's your responsibility to get married to the dude before he gets you pregnant. Having children out of wedlock. If y'all not getting together, then the woman's responsibility is to protect herself from pregnancy. If you want to be in the hookup culture, then you need to protect yourself from pregnancy. It's not, oh, you can do whatever you want, get pregnant, and then blame it on the man. But the government, the women got government. They got Big Daddy. They got Big Daddy. And for black women out here that's doing that, and they're talking about the white man, and they're running to the white man to make black men pay for their children that they have out of wedlock, I think it's foul. I think that's foul. So I don't know what's up with this woman, why she's in such a, oh, she says that Negar, hold on. I thought she said she had multiple children. She said she had children, right? She said her children. Yeah, her and her children will be homeless. So okay, if Nigard is responsible for the 17-year-old, and she says that it was a nasty assault, you say, hold on, let me see. Peter says Trey was 5 years old when she told him who his father was. When he was 12, she told him that Nigard sexually sexually nasty attacked her. Nasty assault. Okay. Hold on, I missed something. Trey was, yeah, I didn't miss nothing. 17 was the father. No one was the father. One of her friends ended up telling him. Why would her friend, if she says it was assault, why would her friend tell him as if he had a right to know? If it was a nasty assault, why would the friend do that? That makes no sense. Why would wouldn't the friend be on her side? How would telling him I don't get it. I don't get it. I thought I dealt with the feelings about it. Okay, it's okay. I would expect if it was an assault the way she says, of course you would have issues, but I don't get the if the scenario that I'm reading here, it just feels funky. I don't know what went on. Like I said, I wasn't there. I'm just reading this article right now. I only skimmed over it before to see if there was anything said about to see if there was anything said about how much what how come she's so broke, you know. There's no class action lawsuit against Negard. Okay, hold on. Former designer, executive is currently in Henningsville Correctional Center awaiting possible extradition to the United States, where he is charged for a number of crimes, including trafficking. Okay. Trafficking of what? Ooh. Speaking of truth is not fair. Okay. Through his lawyer, he was denied he denied all the allegations against him. Class action lawsuit was put on hold last summer until the FBI's criminal case makes its way through the courts. Uh, a total of 81 women are involved in a civil case alleging. See, this is not what I'm talking about. I don't know why I'm reading all this because this is a kind of off of what I'm talking about, off the subject of what I'm talking about. This is her. This is this woman here. I don't know. That looks like two different women. But okay, this is not what I'm talking about. There's no other articles about that. I was looking for other articles about child support, but they just I guess I was the first one. Child or spousal support. Lawyer's attorney in Brooklyn. Yeah, this is the court systems. Uh, oh, what age is a parent obligated to child support to support a child? New York State child is entitled to support by its parents until the age of 21. Okay, I understand that, but why is why is a man being held by its parents? Okay, if you agree to be a parent, that's what I say. All of this running around willy nilly having babies needs to stop. That's all I'm saying. They need to stop all of this running around having babies and forcing people into child support. This should stop. That's all I'm saying. This needs to stop because it's not it's not right for the women to force the men, and it's not right for the men to have to pay when they're not when it's not something that was intended to be forced on somebody like that. People are, if this is supposed to be the land of the free and everybody's supposed to have their freedoms in the world. Now, we're going to go on to talk about stuff like the pay. Well, the pay gap has already been proved, but that is it's a lie. But we're talking about women being basically fighting for the rights for this equal pay. This is another thing that I believe that is child support because everybody today seems to be wanting to gimme, 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 gimme. It's all about gimme, gimme. and nobody wants to earn what they get. Nobody wants to earn what they get, and it's wrong. People need to deserve what they get. And women who are just running around having babies just because they want to have sex, okay, you can be as sexually liberated as you want, but the responsibility of what goes on with your body is yours and yours alone. Let's stop pushing the blame on everybody. Let's keep the government out of our business. How come we have to let the government in every bit of our lives? And that's what this is. Every aspect of life is governed by the government. That's not what the government is supposed to be. We're not supposed to be giving up every inch. How is that freedom? And women get to do however. Okay, you get to be whoever you want. I'm not trying to stop you from being who you want. Be whoever or whatever you want to be, but you can't expect to be free. How is that freedom when you're putting blame and responsibility for your actions on other people? It's not it makes no sense. And something should be done about it. Something needs to be done. Something needs to happen to stop this, because the system is built on it, and people are making money. There's lawyers, there's judges, there's governmental agencies all built around this, all for what purpose? When it's simple. Take care of your responsibilities and you get all of these things out of your life. Basically, all of these responsibilities, you know how many organizations in the government are created behind single parents? And I'm not talking about single parents who, like, something happened to one of the parents that's unforeseeable. I'm talking about just people having babies out of wedlock. So if you make the choice of having sex and you're going that route of, you want children, and the only thing is, make sure that you married. That way the family unit is preserved. That way all the other things, that's what we need to restructure. Everything we need to restructure. That's what the whole matrix doctrine and the power matrix is all about. Taking control of your power. People have power, but they want to give everything away. Women talk about how strong they are, but they give away. How can you say that you're strong and you have control over your body, but then say that it's a man's fault for you getting pregnant, and it's a man's responsibility for you getting pregnant? How is that? You giving away all the power that you claim, because now you're saying, but you don't need a man, but you're saying that it's the man with all the power. He's the one that forced the pregnancy on you in some way. So he has to take the responsibility. No, this is an oxymoron. They can't exist together. It makes no sense. And if that's the case, then your argument is falls apart on its face. And that's what fostering weakness is. You foster this weakness in society. We foster weakness in the women because the government says, don't worry, women, you can do whatever you want. We'll take care of it for you. And then force men into situations, untenable situations that force them into the street, force them into gutters, into homelessness, and all kinds of situations, all behind women who just want to be loosey goosey with their private parts. Okay, you can do that, but there comes a consequence with that. We need to restructure everything. The government is mother, father, sister, brother to many people, and then the demon to all. How can you go and say we need the government for this, that, and the next, and then say that the government should stay out of your business when you put them there? And that's what's wrong with the world today. We got a lot of people that put things on the government to handle when it's your responsibility. That's why I was talking about jobs and everything are there for us. We can do whatever we want. The jobs are there. People don't provide jobs. People don't provide these things to you. We do these things. We create. Rich people don't create jobs. The jobs are there for us to do. The efforts are there for us to do. If we stand up for ourselves and take the responsibilities for just taking care of our little part, we can accomplish so much instead of pushing everything on other people. And that's what this whole fostering the weak, we so busy wanting to get in on all of the free shit that we want to claim weakness. When I was coming up, it was embarrassing to be on some kind of welfare. But now that seems like that's the thing everybody wants, to be able to sit back, just like what the government has shown you. The government has shown you right now, nobody wants to go to work because they want that welfare. People throwing money at you, giving you free shit and say, hey, they'll take the losses. They'll take all the L's that come with it if they can sit back and just collect free money. Whether it's less money than they've ever got paid before, they don't care. It's free and they don't have to do nothing for it. That's why I say you get rid of money, all that goes away because you have to work. You have to work if you want to live in the type of so called society that you want. So if that's the case, then take responsibility. Take responsibility, and that starts with women. From the if y'all want to come up in the world and claim that y'all are so strong, if y'all claiming that you're leaders and that people should follow you, how can somebody follow you when you can't even lead yourself? If you can't take control of your own body and your own efforts in amongst your own you can't control other people, but you can control yourself. So do that, if you can't do that, just control yourself, then how can you expect other people to want any to be able to say anything helpful in any way to
Here's
you?
2 Orgain all-in-one organic protein shakes.
Wow, I messed that up. Yeah, I messed that up. We do things ridiculously, and then we expect they still isn't there a rule that states that we crazy is expecting different things to come from expecting a different result by doing the same thing over and over again, continuing to do the same thing and expecting a different result. Well, isn't that what we do every day with everything that we do? Every part of our societal functioning, instead of we repair it or change it, we keep trying to repair the same broken system, the same broken thing. Nobody says let's change it. No, it's always, well, we can build on this broken down foundation. The police has been, well, we can make it better. Let's just give them more munitions. Let's give them more tanks and guns and armored this. How is that making them? Matter of fact, since they've been armoring the police in such ways, it's been getting worse. And it's the same thing with women. How come every time people start talking about building a society or getting better, it gets worse? Now, we saw things get better back in the 60s. When black people were looking for to come up in the world back in the 60s, we seen an explosion of good things, right? We saw blaxploitation movies, both men and women, coming up. We seen men and women both achieving great things in the Olympics. We seen them achieving things in sports, in manufacturing and production, on TV. We seen Oprah come out of the woodworks in the 80s, and or what was that, the 90s? It doesn't matter. We seen a growth, and then all of a sudden, with this feminist movement, we seen a decline in black everything. There's no great women's stories coming out of anything, anywhere. We seen great black stories and movies come out. We had black directors coming out of the woodworks, putting out great black movies. Where are those movies for women today? I'm talking about making statements and also entertaining people where it's undeniable that was a great story. Why do we keep fostering the weakness? We push this weakness, and what they're pushing in the feminist movement is weakness. That men can't be men anymore, and that everything has to be turned over to women. Where's the women building? Where's the properties that women have built? Anything. I'm just saying, I don't know. I've been looking online for things. Let me see. I've been looking online for women who's created things in sports. Because you see women in sports today. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, let's have us a little thing. Okay. Now we have women in sports, international athletes. No more child support. As far as this child support's concerned, okay, hold on. You're gonna have to get better at that. How come Halle Berry no longer has to pay $16,000? Reportedly, no longer has to pay $16,000 per month in child support. Might be getting cut in half to $8,000. Oscar Norman reported pay Aubrey is that her female or male? I don't know. It doesn't matter. $85,000 in retroactive child support, and she will have to continue to fund Hala's private school tuition and health insurance coverage. Okay, I don't want to go into all of her personal business. I'm just curious to why she gets, because I don't think men get theirs knocked down like that. They don't get theirs knocked down. A lot of men have been complaining that the courts have been particularly harsh on them. And you can't find reports on that. You can't find... Okay, there's videos. Let's look for that. Hold on. Let's look for that. Oh, you like that? Hold on. Let's look back for a second. Hold on. I'm not. Okay. I don't think I'm doxing myself. Okay. Let's go back. Let's look for men complaints on child support. I saw a video somewhere about this. Child support is a weapon. Men shouldn't pay child support. Hey, I'm 100% with you. I don't think that is fair. 7 things There's 7 things to do. 7 things to not do in child support. Okay, 7 things not to do while going through a child support case. Really? You have to talk about all this ridiculousness? Child support ruined the wrong men's lives. Look at them. Look at all of these. How to pay less child support. Let's see what he has to say. Hold on. Let's I don't believe. Hold on, we might have to pause this. Or lower it down some. All right. Let's stop, drop, and roll. Let's stop sharing. Let's go back. I keep forgetting to share the audio. Let's share the audio. All right, let's see child support. Okay, where to go? Oh, it's over here. Here we go.
Well, I opened up a case against myself because I wanted proof that I paid the child support.
You don't have to answer.
Fathers who do this say, but why would you do that against yourself? Fathers who do this say, but why would you do that against yourself? Fathers who do this say, well, I opened up a case against myself because I wanted proof that I paid the child support.
Dummy.
You don't have to answer that question.
I'll answer the
That's a dummy.
question. You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers?
Parents make on their own that cause them to pay more in child support. So you definitely want to hear that rule. But I'm going to go ahead and quickly address on how to pay less child support. You will want to stick around until the end of this video to hear rule number 5 especially, because I talk about some of the stupid mistakes that parents make on their own that cause them to pay more in child support. So you definitely want to hear that rule. But I'm going to go ahead and quickly address these rules, which will stop you from overpaying on your child support, and then I'll send you on your way. To overpay child support, you inevitably fall behind. Now there's back child support, called an arrearage. In many cases, an attorney would have caught that mistake, and no attorney is going to charge. Support amounts are calculated using both parents' income. Help with the daycare for your child, That's a possible credit. You have other children besides.
So,
Are you going to get all of the credits and deductions?
so in other words,
Hire
you
your
need,
attorney for your child support.
you need to get an
Because your child
attorney.
support calculations were not accurate. An attorney would have caught that mistake.
See,
Then
this is what I don't agree. How come there's not something clearly stating ways for a father to calculate all of the things? Shouldn't these things be very they should be stated explicitly clear that, okay, this is what we need to know, and how to get it out there so that you're not paying overages in child support. But they don't care about that. They don't care that they bleed your father dry. It's ridiculous. You shouldn't need to pay a lawyer. This is something that should not need a lawyer. It shouldn't. Because it should be plain. A child only needs so much money a month to live. Plain and simple. And everybody should know what that is. It should be clear how much food a baby consumes, how much clothes, how many diapers. These are things that are clear that you can precisely figure out. Doctor bills, all of that, depending on the age of the child and the condition. These things should be clear. So to need an attorney to tell you that to itemize all the minutia, and then you have to pay that lawyer, because the lawyer's not doing that for free. So that's that much more money coming out of you. This is what it is. All of these functions that you're talking about with child support is mostly court fees and all of the court stuff. That's where you get drenched. You paying out for these lawyers to get your support. It should be if you're married, you know how much it costs. You know how much. It has nothing to do with how much the father makes. It has everything to do with how much is spent on that child. How much is spent on that child during the months or years that is being cared for by the parents. That's why you need to stay with your husband. You make sure that you have a husband and you stay with him. That way you don't have to deal with all of these problems. This gets rid of all of this crap, having to pay lawyers. What are you paying a lawyer for? This is why I don't understand. We have patent fees. Got to pay the lawyer. You want to get a patent, you got to pay a lawyer. Why is it every these lawyers are cleaning up for doing nothing? We should be able to do these things ourselves. Why is everything being handed off so that you can have other people make money off of you? And it's the same thing with a lot of things. You have so many business actions and things that you fees that come out just so that they can soak people to keep you out or to keep you poor. That's why it's set up this way. All of these things set up to keep you in financial stress so that you can't become the wealthy individual. How do you become wealthy when you have all of these stresses and factors that help to knock down your bank statement, that help to keep you out of financial liquidity so that you can build a base to climb up or build from. If your base is weak because you have to pay all of these things, excuse me, water break, then what do you think is going to happen? You're going to lose out. How if we streamline things, I think we need to get rid of money altogether and all of this stuff goes away. to me, if you get rid of money, that's the problem, because everything is set up to. We talk about society as if because we're a society, we're improving ourselves. We're not. We are stagnant. We are stagnant because we are dependent on something that's imaginary, and we can't grow more than we are. We will never be, because the driving force is making money. It is not becoming the best people. It's not becoming the best beings that we can become. It is make money. And so everything we do is structured around that. Gurgle, 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 gurgle. Remember all of those sounds they used to make in the cartoons back in the day? They don't make those kinds of sounds anymore. Some of those sounds alone would have you cracking up. So, again, I don't want to listen to this. He's talking about paying less child support. I guess I was looking for something more on why we need child support in the way that we do, and the government is pushing it on the men, but the government shouldn't have been in women's business in the first place. When they started giving women all of this money and then saying we're not the ones that should be doing it, we should be pushing it on the people who are responsible, the men. And that's not the issue. The men aren't responsible for all of these women having babies out of wedlock or needing child support. It's the women, because as your boy Kevin Samuels say, 80% of the women are filing for divorce. They are the ones leaving relationships. So again, they are the ones responsible for bringing relationships together. They are the ones who are responsible for having unprotected sex. They are the ones who are responsible for getting pregnant because it's their body. They are responsible for not protecting their bodies in either against pregnancies or sexually transmitted such and such, and they are not doing what they're supposed to do as far as they're responsible for bringing the child in the world once it's here. So if they're responsible and if these are all of their decisions that they've made, how could it be then forced onto the men that these women lay down for willingly, spread their legs, allow the man to go raw dog all up in them, and then they say it's his fault? No, you allowed him into your home, and which that's a whole thing in and of itself, because the relationship has to grow from something to get him into your home and into your bed, or you into his. It doesn't matter. It's your body, your responsibility. So once you get into his bed, that's a wrap. It's your responsibility. Or once you let him between your thighs, it's your responsibility from there on. It's your responsibility from the get-go. You let him close enough to you. It's your responsibility to figure out the character of the man you're dealing with. It's your responsibility to understand what type of relationship you are involved with before you spread your legs for him. It's your responsibility to figure out where you're going with the relationship before you let them all up in them thighs. It's your responsibility to make sure that his thoughts are on whether he's considering you as a mate to bring forth children. That's all on you. It's nobody else's responsibility. And the best way to figure that out is by being married. Now, I'm not saying that you have to wait to have sex, but you should at least wait to have babies. You should wait to be married to have babies. I'm not saying that you should wait to have sex, but you should wait to have babies. And that's the whole thing. Once you have your baby, you should be married. When you're dropping babies, you should, or he should have already dropped to that knee and thrown a ring on it. That way that you're insured. And then once you're in that situation, you should make sure you do everything to stay in that situation. There's no running. The government shouldn't be there saying, if you leave your husband, we're going to make sure you get a payout. That's bullshit. Stay in your relationships. So, let me see. I don't think there's much else I need to hear from this guy because I don't really care about 5 ways to beat child support. That's not what I'm talking about. We're not talking about beating child support. Reasons why child support is voluntary and why you should never volunteer. It's not voluntary, and you should never volunteer unless you are, like I said, unless you choose to. You should choose to, because if a woman has the right to keep you away from that child and all of that, then I don't see why you should have a responsibility to pay. Unless you are, like I said, her husband, then yeah, you have a responsibility because you made the commitment. And the both of you have a commitment to stay together until the child is of age to get out there on his own. I say that's 18, not 21. Once you're able to work and do your own thing, I was put out of my home at 18, and I had to learn how to survive and do for myself. So once you're 18, 21, that's ridiculous. 3 more years. 18. Once you're able to go to war and murder people, once you're able to go to war and murder people, that's it. That's the ultimate test. That's it. So, okay. Like I was saying, we need to stop fostering the weak. And one of these things about women in sports, talking about this equal pay thing, that's what I'm talking about. We need to get rid of. This is another thing. Women in these sports and the men who back them, saying that we need that they're not getting paid equally. I was looking up something. Is there a sport that women created for women? They had some garbage up there that they were talking about, but it didn't have anything. They said it was created, it was about tumbling, acrobatics and tumbling, but it was created in 2010. So I know that that's not something that they're talking about. I was looking for something specifically. I said, has there been a sport that women have created for women, by women, for women? And I couldn't find anything. I don't know if it's just me, but I think that this Google and all of these search engines are garbage, because whenever you look for something, it never gives you what you're looking for. Never. So I was looking up, are there any sports, women created sports? And they couldn't come up with one. I couldn't find anything online. Here, let me show you. And maybe y'all can find something that I can't. Women athletes. No. No. Halle Berry, child support. Nope. Women's sports history. Here it is. Women's sports history. And this is one of the things I was looking at. And again, let me see, there was another one here. I was something else I was looking at here for sports. Maybe it was back this way. Here, I'll come right back. But look, I'm looking for, see, a sport for women created by women. That's what I was looking for. See, here's a search. Sports women created. But they don't have anything. Not one. It goes down to women's sports history, but that just talks about the women's in men's sports. Women who have come up and found a place in men's type sports like archery, tennis, golf, stuff like that. There's nothing that women created. Horse riding, that's not stuff that women created for women. That's just stuff that women got into after men create or made it something popular. And I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a specific sport created by women. Just this is the same thing with almost everything. Where is there a comic book that women have created about women that is a character that everyone on the planet knows about, like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman? You go down the list. Green Lantern. You could go down the list. How many were created by women? I don't know. I'm asking. I'm not making an accusation. I'm asking. It's just like a lot of things. I know there are women corporations out there, but are there women corporations? Where's the movie that's created by women? It doesn't necessarily have to be about women, but everybody knows about it. Like Harry Potter, it's just about the only thing. But how many stories are, and that's really for kids. So it's not that everybody knows about it. Everybody knows about it, but not everybody's like enthusiastic about it, like Star Wars. You know, everybody knows Star Wars. There's people who don't like it and don't care about it, but is people of all ages love Star Wars. People of all ages, I guess you could say, like Harry Potter, but not in the way of a Star Wars. Then you're not going to find the same type of adult fans loving Harry Potter the way that adults love Star Wars, comic book movies, Lord of the Rings, these types of things, video games. There's adults who take great pleasure in those things. Harry Potter is not one of those things that a mass amount of adults are going to be, maybe children who grew up on Harry Potter, but not grown-ups who watched Harry Potter and then said, oh, I'm in love with Harry Potter, I have to collect all of it. Nah, you're not going to find too many of those. Not in the way that men collect Lord of the Rings, men collect anything. They collect the Hulk, they collect Thor, they collect all of these things. There's movies that we like that we collect. There's all types of things created by men. I guess you could say for men, but for all man. So, and that includes women and children and all of that good stuff. People of all colors. So, yeah, this is what I'm saying. If there's no sports, right, that women created, if you have nothing that you created, that you shown, people have to show their worth, don't they? Like I said, black people have created all types of things as a whole. I'm not gonna say black men, but the music industry was one of the first things that took off for black men, right? We back ever since the 40s, 50s, created rock and roll, created so many hip hop, rhythm and blues, all of that stuff. Have women found a space? Yeah, but I don't think they created it, perfected it, made it what it was, what it is. So let me see. We have, I bring this stuff up because we have women who have brought up all of these things about, let me see. All of these are up here about mascots. Naked and Afraid. Men's complaints about. Yeah. But we have these. This is pretty recent. Let me see, March. So it's a couple of months back. March, April, May, June. Oh, this is a few months back. Yeah, well, this is in the thick of things. I don't know if these guys. You see, even Steve Harvey starting to change his tone. All of a sudden now, Steve Harvey is talking like he's talking on the other side. He's talking about how bigging up the women and women need to do all this and the men need to do this. Now he's talking about, hey, women, y'all need to understand that y'all got to, with men, a certain amount and all. He's starting to talk like a lot of these men, like Kevin Samuels. I don't know. He's trying to mask it, but he's trying to turn his talking around from what I've heard. So this whole women and athletes and the male allyship, oh man, this was, like I said, this is about back in March, so this is a ways back. I don't think the men are so much an ally now, because it's been proved that this is wrong all this time. And so things have definitely probably changed. That's why I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but the whole idea that women in sports have, yeah, this is supposed to be a women in history of sports. This just basically talks about women who have made strides in sports that men have brought to the forefront. That's why I was saying, that's why I was looking up what sports women created. And that's what interests me too. What things have women created that they've done better than men in? And I can't think of anything. And this is modern era. There should be something that women have created that are basically head and shoulders above the men, because they invented it. They're the innovators, and so they're the ones. If anybody has heard of anything, please put it in the comments so that I can figure it out for myself. I don't mind being educated, you know. So I haven't found anything, but the whole idea is no more child support. This is what I'm talking about. Women in sports, women who think that they deserve, that men who work in the same sport as they do need to subsidize the women's efforts. I think that's ridiculous. I think this is utterly ridiculous because this is child support. You're a baby and you're looking for child support. You're looking for child support from men. This is what I say. We need to get off of this. We need to get off of this whole thing because we're raising people to be babies. We are bringing up people to be babies, grown ass adults who are expecting the government to step in and finance them, give them child support for their lack of being able to take care of themselves. These are grown ass adults. If you can't make money playing soccer, then you shouldn't be playing the sport. If you can't make money playing basketball, baseball, whatever sport it is, then you should not be playing that sport. Period. And if you are making money, you shouldn't be looking at what somebody else is making. You should be worrying about what you're making and how you could grow that sport. Period. You should not be including someone else's financials in your probabilities or your what do they call those like your future outlook or goals or prospectus. So yeah, we can't be keep fostering this type of weakness that women think that they should get equal pay from what men make because men are in the NBA or men are in soccer, that the money that they made off of all their own efforts, the performances that they put out without any help from any woman, because before women got into any of these sports as announcers, it was all men, and we was doing fine without them. They want to shoehorn themselves into these positions that really they're not qualified for, because what do they know about men's sports? So they don't know what it's like to be out there amongst the men, so they shouldn't be commentating. So just the way that they say in the comic books and all of that. If you can't have it, you're both ways. So if you're gonna have it that way, all right. How about you play the sports that you create? How about that? Don't play men's sports. That's a good video to do. I'm gonna have to look that up. But yeah, no more child support for these women athletes. No child support for women athletes. If you can't make, the men are subsidizing the efforts of the women right now. Men's sports. Subsidize. Women's sports. Okay, let's see what they got to say about this. A woman kicked a football and proved why women don't belong in men's sports. Transgendered athletes are destroying women's sports. Dope. Why are women paid less in sports? This is bull. Should men and female athletes be paid equally? This is not what I'm looking for. How come that's not what? How come I said men's sports subsidizes women's sports. How come they're not talking about how much men's sports is paying for women's? There's nothing here talking about that. Man changes gender and dominates. That's another thing. How come there are no women changing genders into men and dominating male sports? What happened? What happened? We're the same, remember? Okay, equal calls for equal pay. This is 6 years ago, 7 months, 1 year, 1 year, 4 months, 1 year. These are too old. Yes, too old to begin the training. Yeah, this is too old. Nothing new. What happened, women? I guess all of your arguments have been getting slayed. This is the end of women's sports. Well, we know that. Gender women compete. Yes, they should. They should compete in men. They should compete in women's sports. They should compete in men's sports. That's right. Let's see how equal men are. WNBA players are better than NBA players. Really? Okay, I'm not finding anything that says this. I'm not finding anything. Let me see. Let's see. Copy. Let's see if I can find this on some other site. The other side. Let's find out. We subsidize men's sports. Maybe it's time to subsidize. Obvious answer that government does subsidize men's professional sports. In fact, those subsidies are substantial. So then the government could subsidize the women's sports. Women's sports can do at least one thing men's can't. And what's that? There is a growing belief across sports that women are one of the best investments in the industry. Yeah, right. They're not winning. They're not getting people in the stands. How is that a good investment? How old are these women's franchises and they're not producing? Okay, gender pay gap. This is 2020 April. This is 18, no wonder. 19, there's no new shit. Here's April 2020. Well, how come that new shit isn't at the top? Because they're pushing this garbage. This is April. So this is about 3 months back. Most of the NCAA divisions, athletes department take subsidies. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. See, that's what I mean. How is it? How do you have to sift through all of this crap? Shouldn't there be, if you're looking for information on Google and on the website, shouldn't this stuff just pop up right up top? I shouldn't have to look at 2018 posts. The first thing that pops up when this one right here is from 2021 April. This should be at the top. If I want to look at past stuff, how is this helping me now? It's not the same today as it was in 2018. Things could have changed. Updated shit should be here. telling me there's no report about men's sports being subsidized in 2021. I don't know. It just makes no sense. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. So, again, we need to stop paying child support to these people. We need to stop paying child support to these people. We need to stop fostering the weak. Weak people are always going to be weak. You can't make them strong. If they don't grow up strong, they're not going to be strong. You just can't turn a weak person strong. Especially if they're out of their teens and they're in their 20s. They've already built up so much fear. That's why we have so much fear in the world. Everything is about fear, fear, fear. We force the weakness. We tell these people, we tell overweight people, oh, you're nothing wrong with you. You're just fine the way that you are, fostering the weak. You telling me that, and I'm not talking about physically, even though they are physically weak too, physically and mentally. They got to be strong to carry all that weight. So that means that they're strong in certain parts of their body, but most part, they're weak mentally, physically, however. And we need to stop fostering the weak. We need to stop fostering the weak. People are acting so crazy today because of they crying out for their mommies. They're throwing tantrums because they're crying out for their mommies. Mommy, mommy, mommy. Please. Please, mommy, mommy. They want the government to be their mommies and to take up the fight for them when they've done nothing. It's these participation trophies all over again. Stop fostering the weak. They don't build anything. You don't build anything. You're not creating anything. You just want to take. Y'all want to be included in everything that men create, and then y'all don't do as well or better anywhere along the lines. Have a tournament. Prove your worth. Prove your worth. Have a tournament. Men against the women. Anything. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Men against the women. Prove your worth. What's wrong with that? Prove that all that crap you talking about, it means something instead of just talking crap. All of this, women are always talking about how they don't need no man, but you do need men, especially these independent women. They freezing their eggs, they doing all of this stuff. But where you going to get the sperm from? Where you going to get the sperm from to fertilize these eggs? Men, you need to stop. We need to stop. You know what men need to do to get rid of this welfare, this child support? We need to sue. You need to sue a class action lawsuit. A class action lawsuit to make the government stop forcing people into paying when women want to be treated fairly. You are violating women's rights to be equal. That's what the government does when it forces men to pay child support. You are violating women's rights to be independent and free. Free to choose, free to make the right choices, free. You're making them, turning them into children. And that's what the government is doing. We need to find something else to do with that. Because that's not how the world works. Well, that's how it works now. That's Western culture. Yeah. How you gonna get a baby, right? You're a woman. Y'all don't need no men. But you have so many of these women who want to be independent, but they want to freeze their eggs, or you got these the alphabets who don't want nothing to do with no men. So how y'all gonna get children? They want to have it all. They want to have children, but no man. How you gonna get your children? How you gonna get them? Y'all go into sperm banks. Men need to sue. Men need to sue. You need to sue for your rights. You need to sue to ensure that you guys can stop paying child support. Class action lawsuit. Let's get rid of this for all single men. No more child support for all you athletes out there and women who talk about they want to be put into positions that they don't earn. For all of these things, no more child support. If you don't earn something, you don't deserve it, you don't get it. No more child support. No more financing and subsidizing a woman's sport who not bringing this the viewerships into the stands, onto the televisions. If you can't do it yourself, then bye, baby. That's what needs to happen. So how about we try, if y'all gonna be out there having babies, let's make sure the men, let's stop how about you stop giving away your sperm away for free? Huh? And I think the men are getting a clue, because because what we're seeing is that international sperm banks are running low. It says here, hold on, let me blow this up a little. You think we are? All right. Sperm banks in countries such as the UK, China, are anxious to grow their sperm donor database. No, do not give them any more. As more couples and individuals look to grow their families using third-party reproduction, hey, need to stop all of this crap. There is a high need for donated sperm. No more donations. You can't get it done on your own. That's too bad for you. Let's stop fostering the weak. In UK's National Sperm Bank is currently overdrawn due to the combination of fewer donors and the increased need for sperm. In August, Britain's National Sperm Bank revealed that its database consisted of only 9 donors total. Wow. Good. Get rid of it. No more. Do not donate no more sperm. No more whacking off for other people. No more. Keep your dick in your own pants. Fuck all that bullshit. Y'all need to not donate. Do not donate no more sperm. Keep your power. People, they're trying to fight a war. If you want to fight a war, you want to go to war, I go to war. That's what Tony Montana says. Tony Montana, you want to go to fucking war? I take you to war. Just make a move. Just make a move. Do you want to go to war? I take you to war. I take you to war. Do you want to go to the war? I take you to war. Just make a move, and we go to war. You wanna fuck with me? Tell you, man. You want to go to war? To show them what war is. You a lesbian and you think you could just go to a sperm bank? Nah, baby. You don't need no man. Then you could go and find you an old gay dude to spank his bank for you. But no more of that. That's out of there. Third-party donors. Without a healthy database from which to choose, those are in need of donor sperm have limited options when it comes to selecting a donor. Many believe that it's only going to be 9 people. A lot of them dudes are going to have a lot of kids out there. Them 9 dudes going to have a lot of kids out there. How you like that, knowing that you got so many kids, brothers and sisters out there for your sperm donated baby? Your test tube baby. For your test tube baby. You're going to have a lot of brothers and sisters for your test tube baby. Oh, shit. You know that's true. You're going to have a lot. That's funny as shit. You're going to have a lot of brothers and sisters out there for your test tube baby. Oops. Hold on. I was just seeing what was up. Hold on, let me go back. Yeah. Okay, hold on. There we go, the alphabets community. No more, you see? No more donations. Y'all gonna have a lot of brothers and sisters. Y'all gonna have a lot of family out there, son. Yeah, no more. Y'all need to take this away. Y'all wanna be all up in people's face. Y'all wanna be taking in all that air, talking all that shit. Yeah, it's easy, man. Y'all want to fight a war? Y'all want to go to war? No more test tube babies for you, baby. No more test tube babies for you. Hold on, let's see this shit. Hold on. Selecting. Many believe that changing law may be responsible for the UK shortage, because donors may value their anonymity more than anything that might, motivate them to donate. Yeah, I bet you that these women want to know who the daddies are so that they can sue them for support. Fuck you. You don't want those support? Fuck you. I bet you that's what it is. These women want to get the names of the donors so that they can make them fucking give up money for the children. Fuck you. Keep your anonymity. Don't give no more sperm. Keep your spank in your own bank. Keep your spank in your own bank, baby. I got 2 vaults And I ain't letting nobody fucking have none of mine unless they get it a direct withdrawal. You gotta have to get a direct withdrawal. You're gonna have to get direct deposit, baby. We only deal with direct deposit. Just fuck you. We only deal with direct deposit. We don't deal no more spank banks, baby. Direct deposit from now on. The government does that too. You only deal with direct deposit. The direct deposit. Let's see what these people got to say. They want to do with their anonymity, right? Okay, because they may prefer not to donate if any child born from their donation would be able to locate them upon their 18th birth, 18-year-old, turning 18 years old, and then they get all their information spilled. This situation has not yet arisen, as the law was only enacted in 2005, but the first opportunity for a child to do so will be in 2023. Increased demand, aside from those who face an infertility diagnosis, also comes from the alphabet community. I ain't going through all of that. The alphabets, female couples. That's your problem. We only dealing with direct deposits. And if you homely and gruesome, that's your problem. You best to get you a good donor, a receptacle. You best to find you a mighty fine receptacle. We only deal with direct deposits. Couples require a sperm donor. No, in order to have a child through a in vitro fertilization. These couples are beginning to make up a significant portion. See, the more this stuff, the alphabets increase, the more they need you. I thought they don't need no man. They don't need you. They talking about all over the place. These alphabets is talking about how they don't need you. Yes, they do. Cut them off. They want to go to war. We'll take you to war. We'll take you to fucking war. Say hello to my little friend. I'm telling you. You want to go to war? That's right. It's easy. See, this is what happens in the wild. You could be as different as you want to be, but you can't. It's very difficult for you to perpetuate the same towards the young. You can not brainwash the young, and the young are lost, and they are not able to pass along these whatever, and they cease to exist. That's why you don't see this prominent in the wild, because after the adult goes, it's like it starts afresh, starts right over anew. It's only man that does this. Only mankind does this. And the only reason why they do this, okay, I was saving this for later, but it's because of this. See, this is Naked and Afraid, and I talk about this show. Naked and Afraid, you had dangers in the world all the time. It shows you. Hold on. Let me see. I should have did this. He's gonna show a real short clip. Even though you don't need sound for this, because it's about. It's not about the sound. It's about the danger. See, in the jungle, There's always something out there trying to kill you. You can step on a thorn and die. A snake bite can kill you. A scorpion. The water was making them sick. The water, they would climb into the water, and some of them was getting this thing called nutria sores. They was getting sick, was causing breakouts on their skin, and their skin was just whelping up, turning into pus. It was just getting diseased. Like within hours, they'd start scratching, and then their skin would turn because of the nutria. Nutria are animal. It looks like a guinea pig. It's kind of big, it's huge, like the size of a ham. A ham, Ham. So it's a big little rat. It's like a big rat. It's like a guinea pig, like I said, and it's like the size of a ham, and or about the size of a pit bull or something like that, a small pit bull. And and when it craps in the water and craps all over the place, the fecal matter and all of that gets into the water and things, and you can those bacteria and the things that feed on that exist in the water, and you climb in there. See, now if you was used to it, you would have, your body would be used to it. If we was in the wild all of this time, our body would have the necessary bacteria to sustain itself, so that this thing wouldn't attack us in the way that it does. So let me see if I can show that. Hold on, maybe I can find that. But let me see. Naked and afraid. Naked and afraid. How come it's not pulling it right up? I just looked it up. Naked and afraid. Naked and afraid. Naked and afraid. XL. Nutria. Oh, season 7. Season 7, Nutria Itch. Nutria Itch. That's what it was called. Nutria Itch. Nutria Itch. I know I'm missing a T. Now watch this shit. Nutria Itch. 3 weeks ago, let me see, this guy, Naked and Afraid, where is he now? This is 3 months ago. The thing is, this show, Naked and Afraid, hold on, a fake 9-foot gator caught. Naked and Afraid, anyone that thinks this shows fake 9-foot alligator caught with bare hands and rope 1 month ago. We're not talking about that. How come they're not showing the Nutria Itch? Oh, here we go. No, that's his nutria problems. I'm not looking to play all of that shit. You mean they don't have one thing showing the Nutria Itch? Damn it. That's bullshit. It looked disgusting. It looked disgusting, really. You figure it would have been right at the top, man. Right at the top. They showed how their skin got all fucked up with the nutria. All they needed to do is show 5 seconds of it. And these things attack you. These diseases, like this guy here that they're showing here in this video, he made himself sick because he was eating everything, and he took the eyeballs off of this fish and put it on his eyes, and the juices and the water got into his eyes, and he got a headache. He was doing a lot of dumb stuff, but they were saying you can't just eat anything. Now, back when we was more primitive, you probably could have gotten away with that, but not these days, because our bodies don't have the bacteria. We're not used to that type of environment anymore. So the things that wouldn't have killed us back then, when we was more primitive and we had more bacteria to fight off the bacteria that's in the wild now we can't do that, because those bacteria will literally kill you. So we are so much weaker than we were. Okay, let me see. Okay, let me get back to this. So everything is trying to kill you out in the wild. And so you can't afford to be weak. You can't afford to be obsessive, compulsive. You can't afford to have all of these disorders. And this is what it is. People can afford to be weak these days, and we foster these weaknesses. Oh, you overweight. It's okay. You got this disorder, that disorder. They call it a disorder instead of naming it a weakness. You weak. Most people just have weaknesses. You scared. Most people just have weaknesses. You're a scary motherfucker. That's it. But we call it diseases. Oh, alcoholism is a disease. Smoking cigarettes is a disease. This is a disease. That is a syndrome and a disease. No, you're just a weak bitch. Nope. Sorry, not sorry. You're just a weak bitch. If you didn't have the opportunity, if this thing,
pull the rope.
if you was always afraid of something like this jumping out and chomping on your ass, you wouldn't have time to be a compulsive and obsessive, and you wouldn't have time for this disease and that syndrome. You wouldn't have time for daddy issues and mommy issues. You wouldn't have time for being nerdish and sheepish. You wouldn't have time for these things because you would be too busy worrying about what's going to fucking eat you, or what you can step on or bite you, or what's going to crawl into your tent at night and chew on you. This is what man has done. We have civilized the world to where people can afford to be weak. And that's what it's all about. We are children because we treat ourselves like children. We are children because we act like children, and the companies, the government are all treating us like children. Why do you think they're treating us like children? Because we are children. People have to take, look at it. Back in the days, when we read comic books, we knew that comic books was supposed to be for a certain sect of the population. Adults read them, but it wasn't something admirable. It was considered as something for children. It wasn't something admirable for children. This is 5 Heartbeats.
Maybe you could manage it, because we gonna be hot. Trust me. Tell him, Lester, tell him.
All the other rappers are in their 20s. We're in our 40s. That's part of our hook.
That's part of our hook. See, we got too many old ass people who want to be young, and they don't want to grow up. And today it's even worse with all the comic book and cosplay, and this is where we having our problems. People believing the bullshit, the cosplay, the pretend shit, and we're staying children. People are staying children. We're acting like children, and this is why we get treated the way we are. This is the way you get treated the way you are.
Talk about Haribo Gold Bears. Hello.
We need to. How many people still take gummy bear or taking gummy bear? Look at the commercials. How they're advertised.
We are thrilled. We
look at how they
finally found our dream home in the mountains.
Views are great. The air is fresh. It is bear country, though.
Hey, boo boo!
Hey, boo boo! How's about another bigger basket? Yeah, look at how they advertise to us. People take gummy bear vitamins. People need all of these. They need geckos to sell them insurance. You need gummy bears in order to take. You need candy in order to take your medicine. That's what they did with children. When you went to the doctor, you get a shot, they give you a lollipop. Yeah, this is how they're treating people now. Oh, take your medicine. We'll give you a gummy bear. This is how people are being treated now. This is what people are about now. This is what it's all about. They treat us like children because we act like it. We depend on geckos and Liberty Mutual with their funny animals and how many different Geico commercials have these mascots. Everybody's got a mascot now because we're children. We can't be talked to like adults. They don't talk to us like adults anymore. They talk to us like children. You need these things in order to buy insurance. It's supposed to be something, the most adult thing you could do is get insurance. And you need to be talked to as a child. This is how they advertise to you. With geckos and all of these little gimmicks because you're no longer an adult. This is what it's all about. Look at this fool.
Tasha, did you know Geico could save you hundreds on car insurance and a whole lot more? So what are you waiting for? Hip Hop Group Tag Team to help you plan dessert?
Now, grown ass motherfucking men. Grown ass men talking about chocolate honey mustard cookie roll. Oops, scoop, there it is. This is why I brought up the Hollywood Shuffle. Old ass motherfuckers doing what young people supposed to be doing. Old ass, and we knew this at one point, but now the lines have been blurred. Now it's no more. You're too old for that. Now it's we got a hook. Come on, play, motherfucker.
The part about hook is we rap country and western.
Messing up my skit. They messing up my skit with the play on this thing. Yeah, man. Get up off of there.
Maybe you could manage it.
Yeah, we need to stop. We need to stop with the gummy bears. Grow the fuck up. You need to stop with the you can't grow up. I'm still a big kid at heart, but I know when it's time to be an adult. I take my medicine when I need to. Well, I don't take medicine because I don't really need to take medicines, and I haven't taken medicines for all my life. I really have avoided taking medicines. If I get sick, I let it ride it out. If I take vitamin C, I take my vitamins, but they're in pill form. They're not gummy bears. I'm not a child. I don't need no gummy bear in order to take my medicine. When I take laxative, I don't take X-Lax. I take Epsom salts because it works. It's harsh. It gets the job done. Take it one bad time, you got to chase it down with some sugar or something to get that taste out your mouth. But that's how we did it coming up. That's how I'm doing it now. People are weak-minded, and we need to get rid of it. We need to get rid of this stuff. We need to get rid of all of this weakness in the society. We foster the weakness. We foster the weakness. And we need to stop fostering weakness. Here's a good example. This is a person who's telling people 10 signs you're a mentally strong person, even though most people think these are weaknesses. No, these are weaknesses. These are weaknesses. These are not strengths. And we need this crap started way back when they started telling men you needed to get in control of your feminine side. No, you never was supposed to do that. You're a man for a reason. You don't need your feminine side. Feminine side is for women. That's why that's what feminine side is. Women. Men don't need a feminine side because that's what we got women for. Now, this person is a psychotherapist and as an author of books, Mental Strength, she encountered many misconceptions about what she claims to be a misconception. What she claims. What about it means, about what it means to be mentally strong? No, these are reinterpreted thought processes. This is the thought processes of a weak person trying to tell people how to be weak comfortably. That's what this is. This is a weak person telling people how to be weak comfortably, so that you don't feel that you're weak. But a strong person won't listen to any of this. A strong person doesn't have no issues with any of this shit that this person is talking. Okay. Somebody who's powerful. Power is strength of mind, body, will, soul, all of that. Strength of mind, body, and soul. Knowledge of that you have strength. You have to know that you have strength in order to wield it. Will, you have to have the will or the desire to use your strength. So anybody who doesn't want to use their strength because it's going to impede on someone else's, you're not strong. You don't have power. You're weak. You're a weak individual. And you have to have wisdom, knowing when and how to use it, knowing the strategies of using your power, because it's not necessary to wield it all the time, but you have to recognize when it's necessary to use it. Now, this person is going to be talking about that. Okay, acting tough is about external appearances. Okay, hold on. First of all, she was saying, ironically, many of the behaviors often associated with weakness are actually a sign of strength. You see what I'm saying? You see, this is a reinterpretation of weakness. Trying to make weak people feel strong, because there's so many weak people out here who are trying to claim the visage of strength. Just like women, there's the feminists who are claiming that, oh, we are strong. No, you're not. Because prove it. Prove any bit of it. You can look at anything that feminists touch today. It all fails. It's all crashing and burning. Their whole movement is crashing and burning. But the companies that are pushing it are looking to gain something out of it. So they're going to keep driving this what do they call it? Albatross. They're gonna keep driving this albatross until it can't fly no more. So, okay, our culture often values toughness over true strength. No, toughness and true strength is one and the same. That you can't separate them and say that these are just two different terms that describe one strength, one thing: power, true power. Acting tough is about external appearances. It is and it isn't. It's about actually being tough. You can act tough and be as butter soft as baby shit. It involves creating a persona. That's what everybody does. Everybody creates a persona. Everybody realizes what works and what doesn't work, and either they don't know how to get out of the persona that they're set in, or they are able to create this persona that will become who they are. That's what growing up is. Creating your own persona, what you are, learning how to express the individual that you are. About external appearances, it involves creating a persona that convinces others you're impervious to pain. No, that's not toughness. That's not toughness. You're not impervious to pain. Is that you can take pain and still move forward. You could take the slings, the arrows, and still get through. That's what toughness is. And that's what people without strength can never understand. This is why she's trying to obfuscate the meanings. She's trying to twist things. She knows that weak people can never understand strength. True mental strength involves working on your character. No, true mental strength involves knowing who you are, period. You don't have to work on your character unless you don't like that part of your character. If there's something that you feel that is sliding or weak, yeah, you need to change and try to improve it. But once you feel that you've reached a certain level, there's only certain levels that people can reach as far as changing who they are. Otherwise, you're not going to be who you are. Certain things about yourself you can improve upon, but you're not going to be able to change them outright. Unless certain things you will be able to, but once certain things are driven into you, there's going to be aspects. You can change anything about who you are, but will you like that about yourself? Will you enjoy who you are? For me, I'm a loud person. I've got a boisterous attitude. I know that I've developed that. I was on the quiet side when I was younger. I'm still on the quiet side, but once I get to know you, who I am bubbles out, and this is it. I have a powerful constitution. When I believe in something, I stick to it no matter what. But first, I have to understand what I'm talking about. I'm not going to speak on something that I have no knowledge of. So I'm going to try and speak to when I speak about something, it's going to be something I feel strongly about. I'm not going to speak on statistics if I don't know statistics. But if I have a feeling about something, a feeling is not really an experience. If I have an experience about something and I know what I'm talking about, I'm going to speak on it. True mental strength involves working on your character. No, not really. It's knowing who you are and not being able to let anything or anyone shake you from who you know you are and what you like about yourself. If you like things about yourself, you don't change those things about yourself for anyone under any circumstances. If you like who you are, if you find there's something wrong with those aspects of yourself, yes, you change those aspects, but you don't change who you are at the core. Me, I'm not changing for anyone until somebody could prove to me that who I am and the way that I handle myself is wrong and that actually hurts myself more than it does others. I'm not gonna change. And what I do, I don't do anything to hurt other people. But if you happen to get wounded by something, it's because that was intentional. It was intentional. If I say something that wounds your ego, that was intentional. I'm not going to then apologize for that. I'm not going to apologize for doing anything that I intentionally do. If I get into an argument with you and it degrades to name calling, I'm not going to then apologize for calling you a name. It makes no sense. The name I called you had to fit. Okay, mentally strong people are willing to be vulnerable. Bullshit. There is nothing to gain in being vulnerable unless it's some kind of strategy. Playing possum, playing dead. That's the only time. But being vulnerable is only letting people know everything about who you are is only a sign of weakness. You don't need to let people know everything about you. And letting people know everything about you only opens you up to more pain because there are going to be people who are going to take those things and use them against you. And that's just the nature of man. Everybody does that. Everybody. You're going to find that people know stuff about you, they're going to talk about you. Okay. Vulnerable and quiet. And quite often people confuse their openness and honesty with frailty. I'm honest, but I'm not open. I am honest, but I am not open. I'm open with those who I think deserve my openness, but I try to be honest with everyone, unless it's not necessary. Telling somebody something specifically just to hurt their feelings when it's not called for, they didn't do anything to deserve it. No, then it's not necessary. So if someone asks me something that could possibly hurt their feelings, yeah, I'll probably skate the question or blatantly tell the white lie or whatever. Like if a big woman asks me if she looks big in a dress, I'd probably say yeah, but I'll try to say it as gently as possible. If there's nothing else that could be done, if there's no reason in hurting that person's feelings with something that could bring them pain for no reason besides bringing them pain, like I said, I don't see the purposes in telling a person that. Like if I thought a person was funny looking, why would I tell him that I thought he was funny looking if it can't do anything but to hurt them or to make them feel bad about themselves? No, I wouldn't say, if I thought he was funny looking, I wouldn't say that he was funny looking. I would just say that if you was my girl and I thought you was funny looking or something like that, or I was interested or something, we was friends, and you asked me if I thought you was funny looking, I wouldn't tell you yeah. I'm not saying that I wouldn't consider you my type, but something like that. You know, like I said, I try to skate the question. I'm not going to be blunt because it doesn't serve any purpose. There's nothing to be gained out of that type of a situation for me to be brutally honest. And I'm a type of person who likes being brutally honest. Being kind. Yeah, I can be kind, but there's no need to be kind to my own detriment. Many people seem to think being kind means you're a pushover or people pleaser. Most of the time, that's exactly what it means. But showing compassion for a neighbor is not being necessarily the same thing as being kind. Compassion is two different things from being kind. You don't have to be kind all the time. If somebody says something slick out their mouth, it's time to, you could be kind and let it pass, or you could let them know, hey, don't fuck around. Why should you be the kind one taking the high road when you could set that person straight right then and there and put them on guard that they're fucking with the wrong person? This is what any animal in the wild, how come animals have more freedom to be themselves than we do? Any animal in the wild, if you threaten them, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to make some kind of noise, do something to let you know, yo, you crossing the boundary. You're going to get it. But if a man or a person does it, something's wrong with you. Like I said, I think it's nothing wrong with kindness. It's degrees. Everything is about degrees. So you can't just put out blanket statements like this and then expect that it's not going to be met with some kind of pushback. Okay, giving a colleague the benefit of the doubt. Why should you ever give anybody the benefit of the doubt? And spending your spare time helping someone with a project could be a sign of strength. How is that has anything to do with anything else? If you're trying to help somebody else, you're just being a friend to them or a good colleague. If they need assistance and you lend your assistance, that's just being a good colleague. The one thing has nothing. I'm talking about an average person on the street walks up to you. How do you greet them? If they come across to you, it depends on how you're being treated. It's how you treat people. You treat people the way you want to be treated until they treat you in a way that's not befitting the treatment that you've shown them. And then you got to let them have it. You don't have to go straight to the pause, but you definitely have to say something to let them know, yo, don't fuck around. Showing kindness often takes courage and confidence. No, it doesn't. Showing strength often takes courage and confidence because it can lead to a confrontation. Showing kindness is the cop-out because kindness puts you in the submissive state, meaning that person now has the upper hand. He can then show you aggression. And you put yourself in the lesser position. You always got to be ready to stand your ground. Stand your ground laws have always existed since the beginning of man, since the beginning of animal kind. All animals will stand their ground when at a certain point, when it becomes a necessity. You threaten their den, you threaten their family, you threaten them, and they can't get away. Showing kindness. So, what if the recipient doesn't want your help? Exactly. What if you're if you're going up to force yourself on somebody? Hey, you want help with your project? No. Why not? Fuck, he said no. Why does it have to be fucking any more discussion? What if your act of friendship isn't reciprocated? Strong people are willing to take those social risks. Yeah, well, if you the way that they're stating this is that the person didn't ask you for any help. You're volunteering your help, and they don't want it. So, okay, I don't see how it takes so much strength or courage to offer somebody assistance. What is that? Any skin off of your nose? If they say no, if you offer an assistance, that means you have the time and the the effort, you have the time and the motivation to lend your assistance to them. So how's that any skin off of your nose? It's not hurting you in any way. So if they say no, how is that then something harming you in any way? So how does that take courage or confidence? This is absolutely absurd. This is what people. This is what how weak people try to convince themselves that they're strong, and try to convince other weak people that they have strength. It doesn't take courage or confidence to offer assistance unless that person is aggressive toward you. Right out the gate. Changing your mind doesn't necessarily mean you're wishy-washy. It does. That's exactly what wishy-washy means. Or easily influenced. Instead, it may indicate you're open to gathering more information and hearing other ideas. Well, that's where you're wrong. If you're going to speak out on a subject, you should have already done your due diligence and gathered the more information. If there's more information for you to talk about before you start running your mouth, then you shouldn't have been running your mouth. You should have gathered the information, known what you was talking about, and then when you spoke, you could know what you were talking about, and then you wouldn't have to change your mind. You would understand what you're dealing with. That's why I say I don't speak on topics that I don't have some kind of understanding on, because then I make a fool out of myself if I'm wrong, and then I have to reverse myself. So I don't do that. This is the sign of a strong person. You talk about shit you don't understand, or you have some kind of grasp on, and you do not. If you are ignorant to something, then you remain ignorant until you educate yourself. You don't put your mouth out there and speak on something that you don't have any clue of what you're talking about. What you do is somebody is speaking on something that you don't understand, then you ask questions. You ask the question, and then if you can derive an opinion from what you've been told, then you can give your opinion. Otherwise, well, I don't know about that, so I'm going to keep my business to myself. My opinions to myself. That's easily. This is the sign of a strong person. This way, no one can ever come back at you questioning your opinion because you didn't offer it. This is the sign of a strong person. This is a sign of a powerful person because he knows himself. They know who they are. They don't have to question themselves. They're not going to put themselves in a position of being questioned because they're going to gather as much information or knowledge on a subject as possible before they speak on it. Acknowledging, okay, whether your ideas about politics have changed over time, your values have shifted as you've grown older. Changing your mind might be proof you are growing and learning. Bullshit. I haven't really, you can learn more as you grow older, but only experiences are going to change your mind. It should. Experiences should be the only thing that changes your mind, because if the things that you discuss, you should have plenty enough experience to discuss them wisely, and plenty enough experience to know that if you don't understand something, to keep your mouth shut. So growing old should only solidify this point. Acknowledging your weakness. There's a difference between speaking the truth and putting yourself down. Acknowledging you're bad at confronting people, or that you struggle to be organized, might show you're strong enough to admit your imperfections. First of all, everybody's imperfect. Everybody, we're human. So that goes without saying. So admitting that you're imperfect just is like an oxymoron. You're basically admitting that you're human, and you don't need that. People who expect you to be perfect are the people with the problem. I don't need to acknowledge my imperfections. They already come with me. I don't have to make excuses for why I'm a human being. So I don't have to admit anything, acknowledge any of these things. If you want to be better at confronting people, make an effort. Make an effort to confront people who who need to be confronted. If somebody says or does something out of line, then you need to learn how to step up and say something about it. Or that you struggle with being organized. And if you struggle organizing, find some way to organize yourself. This is your problem, not other people's. So you can't expect other people to care about you and your problems. Acknowledging your weaknesses. So if you're weak, if you believe that you're weak, then you need to strengthen those weaknesses. Okay, acknowledging your weaknesses can also help you take positive action. Well, like I said, I know my weaknesses, but I'm not going to tell everybody my weaknesses. That's for me to know and for you to find out. And you are always at war, especially with people around you. So you never know when a situation can turn aggressive. So that's why I don't give people information about my weaknesses. Because even your bestest as a friend can become your enemy, and then that person knows everything about you that makes you weak. No, if you have particular things that's not readily apparent, you don't give people, offer people, well, I'm a weak person because I can't think this way and I can't. No, you just offering people valid points on how to attack you. Because anybody can be a potential enemy. Most enemies are not strangers. Most enemies are not strangers. They're somebody who you've met and who you have had dealings with in your life. Acknowledging your weaknesses, you might delegate tasks. How are you going to delegate tasks if you're a weak individual? People ain't going to want to take any type of delegation from a weak person. Tasks that you struggle to do. Or you could develop a plan to help you succeed despite your shortcomings. You can't delegate if you're weak. You have to have some kind of strength in order to get into a position of strength to delegate. This is ridiculous. And again, if you're a boss, you got to act like a boss. You can't be telling your employees how weak you are, how bad you are at business or conducting your business. This is ridiculous. It's not something that you're supposed to do. Being patient, which is so much, with so much emphasis on hustle these days, patience is often confused with inactivity or a lack of ambition. Oh my God. So a person who has a lack of ambition or who are sitting around doing nothing, they're just being patient. Really? I don't think I have to even discuss this one. I don't even think I have to discuss this idiot crap. But reaching big goals like getting out of debt or getting in shape takes patience. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It takes activity. That's exactly when you need to do something. When you need to get out of debt, you need to pay the debt off. You need to stop spending your money frivolously. And if that's the issue, you shouldn't have been put in debt because you obviously were spending unwisely, because if you had to not be in debt at some point in order to get into debt. getting in shape, you have to do it. Get up and do it. Make a plan and do it. These are things that come with the term just do it. Get up off your ass and just do it. Real change doesn't happen overnight. Of course, change doesn't happen overnight, but getting started does. Getting started happens right now. It happens right now. You can get started right now. It doesn't take forever. So being patient is bullshit. This is weakness. This is the utter ultimate sign of weakness. Overnight is and exercising the patience needed to get their takes strength. Get their take strength. The patience needed to get their take strength. Overnight and exercising the patience needed to see. This isn't patience. Of course, it's going to take time for you to get your bills down or to build your body to a certain level. But it doesn't take patience to get started on any of these things. So it doesn't take patience to do it. It might take patience on other outside people looking in at you. It might take their patience on you to allow you the time to get through these things, but it takes you to get started. Otherwise, you keep procrastinating, putting it off. That's all on you. That's not patience. That's foolhardiness. That's idiocy. That's ignorance. That's ignorance. That's not even ignorance. Ignorance is not having the knowledge of something. This is you having the knowledge of everything, but you choose to do nothing. This is ignorance. This is ignorance, not ignorance. Ignorance. You ignorant if you do that shit. Saying I don't do this on my own. Asking for help. Saying I can't do this on my own is a real act of courage. Whether you ask your boss for more assistance or you reach out to a mental health professional asking for help, requiring humility or strength of character. Asking for help, it does require a little bit of humility and strength of character, but if you're a strong person, when you know that you need help and you don't ask for it, that's a failing. Like they're saying right here, down here, that is a failing. If you choose to suffer instead of asking for help, that's ignorant. That's ignorant. Mentally strong people don't go the journey alone. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Mentally, whether they do or not, that doesn't mean that they can't. It's just easier if you have a base, somebody to bounce things off of. For instance, I've been drawing and writing, and I've been trying to write a book for years. Different books. This is where I've learned how to write, from Writer's Digest and different things that I've been looking up over the years. And as I've been learning, trying to put what I've learned into practice, sometimes you look for people to either reach out and work with, or you try to teach. So that helps kind of cement what you've learned. And I've asked friends, family, nieces, nephews, sisters, brothers, if they wanted to write, work with me to write something. Sister read a lot. That's all she did was read. Mother read a lot. That's mostly what she did was read all kinds of books. They had no clue of what it took to write a book, even though they had the model right in front of their faces all that time. If I read a book constantly and I wanted to then learn how to write, I would just go through anything that I've read and kind of mimic that. But they couldn't tell me anything about what it took to write. Not one thing. I would ask questions about what it would take to, how did y'all see them do flashbacks in the book? I don't know. It just happened. What they had to have structured it in some kind of way. They couldn't tell me. Is it all in one chapter, or would they start a new chapter and then kind of, they couldn't tell me. They could not tell me. Friends who read, one dude, he tried to help out, but it didn't really go away. I basically have to do the whole thing myself. He was into fantasy stuff, so I was trying to write this fantasy, the Stone God story. This is back I was 18, 17, 18, something like that. Writing the Stone God story. I first got the idea to write the Stone God story. I was coming up with the characters. This dude was there, and I was asking him. He came up with a name or two, but outside of that, that was it. Boom. Brothers, sisters, like I said, friends, all of that. Yo, man, even now I've asked dudes, yo, I'm writing these stories. I can probably put you on. You want to learn how to write? Maybe make you some cash, you know? Nah. Everybody's like, no. People don't want to. So, yeah. Just because you ask for help doesn't mean that you're going to get it. Sometimes you got to do it yourself. Sometimes it does take that lone act. You can't do it with other people because other people are not interested. It's hard to find people who are interested in doing things the way you want to do them, or how you want to do them, or whatever, or to do the thing that you are interested in doing. You have to find people. And even when you find people, it can be hard because they're busy doing their own things. Like Comicsgate is the thing that I'm into. And it's hard for me to find people just to discuss things with. I've never had that person that I can share my artistic developments with. I've never had an artist or writer or creator who I can create and share with. I've had one when I was about 15, 16, and because I didn't act the way he wanted me to act, he turned on me. He thought I was better than him because I thought I could draw better than him. And I thought that was just friendly competition. He developed a bit of a hate for me and would go behind my back and tell other people how much of a piece of shit I was. Until I challenged him, until I brought him face to face, and then he cowered. That's what I'm saying, you know. So going it alone, sometimes you're forced into that position. Sometimes people are put in a position where they don't want to add new people around them because they're afraid of what that new person might bring with them. So in Comicsgate, I'm basically an outsider, but anybody can be Comicsgate, but that doesn't mean you're going to be welcomed into the inner circles of anybody's group because you claim to be Comicsgate. So it's hard to find people who are willing to offer suggestions, help, anything like that. So then you basically left alone again, working for yourself, trying to figure things out, which I've done all my life. So it's not an unfamiliar place. It's just that I know that it won't be as easy as when I first thought coming in. I thought it would be a lot easier, that I'd be able to get questions answered and be able to move through the whole crowdfunding thing a lot easier because there's this group called Comicsgate. But you have to find a way in first to to these people's comfort zone. And so the best way to do that, I guess, is to produce something. So failing. If you succeed at everything you do, it means you're living far inside your comfort zone. Making mistakes and failing means you're challenging yourself. No, making mistakes and failing is life. You have to find your way through things. It just doesn't come to you. And those things that seem to just come to you, okay, but there's always going to be some part of that you don't understand and that you have to find out about. And sometimes it takes failing to find out. It's just part of life. That's like hunting. Every day you go out to hunt, you're not going to catch something every day. So there might be a day or two you go hungry until you develop a system. Learn what works and what doesn't, which is clearly a sign of strength. Challenging yourself is a sign of strength, but it doesn't mean that you're not going to fail. Accepting that you're going to fail, and then when it happens, not falling apart, and keep striving. That's where the strength lies. Being able to fail and keep moving forward. Don't let anyone convince you that your failures are proof that you're not strong enough to succeed. One thing has nothing to do with the other. This person has no clue on what strength or power is, because they're equating two things. Strength enough to succeed has nothing to do with your failures. Strength, it has everything to do, it has everything to do with your failures, because like I just said, strength enough to succeed means being able to look past your failures and keep moving toward your goal. Instead, view failure as evidence your strength, stretching yourself as far as you can. No, you view failures as what they are. Failures mean that you did something wrong. Find something else that can work for you instead. Don't expect one path. Try to have multiple paths. That's why they talk about in investing, you don't use one line. You have to have a diverse portfolio when you invest. You have to invest in multiple things. In case one fails, the other one can keep going until you find something else. This is what it's all about. Failure has nothing to do with you're gonna fail. This is what's wrong with a lot of people. People fail and then they give up because they've had a failure. You can't do that. You have to fail and keep moving. I failed several times already trying to get Mike to Indiegogo, but I'm not stopping. I'm going to keep going because I know I can do it. And I might fail again, but I hope people will give me the chance to keep things moving forward until I can get my first campaign finished and fulfill it and get it to y'all and prove that I know what I know is right, that I can produce a comic book that I created from scratch, that has great characters, great stories, and that can be a successful franchise, and that people will love and will come back to enjoy over and time again. So that's the way I'm looking at it, and that's the way everybody should look at failing. That's part of life. Expressing emotions. Some people are quick to show anger, but lurking just beneath those angry feelings are more uncomfortable emotions like sadness, embarrassment, and disappointment. Yet it's often easier to say you're an idiot than to say my feelings are hurt. See, this seems to be that somebody's attacking one person and they get into an argument and if you get into an argument with somebody and what somebody else says embarrasses you or makes you disappointed or sad, that's your problem. Like I said, if you're a powerful person, nobody can tell you anything because you already know who you are as an individual. So there's nothing that someone else can say to you that's going to make you angry. You only get angry because you choose to, or you only choose to show that anger. They might be able to make you riled or angry, but expressing that emotion only shows itself because you choose to. It's a strategy. Like I said, power comes from having that wisdom to know when to use your strength. So if you have an emotion of anger because somebody said something to you, you don't show that to them. If you plan on getting even in some way or showing that they haven't fazed you, that's the way you do it, by not showing that emotion. You let them think what they want. You don't show the emotion. You let them think that they got to you how they want, but you play it off like they haven't fazed you. And then you can come back, because then they don't know how to come at you. If you show them that they can think what they want, but letting them know that they got to you lets them know how to come at you. It gives them a way to attack you. If this is someone who's choosing to create conflict with you, someone who chooses to create conflict with you, you're creating the problem for yourself by being uncontrollable. You have to be able to control yourself, control your emotions under all circumstances. This is what war is about. You have to know yourself, what types of troops you have, what types of tactics you know and understand, what types of tactics, the ground that you are maneuvering on. You have to know the lay of the land. All of these things, factors, come in handy when waging a war against someone else. So when you're coming in contact with other people, the possibility should always exist in your mind that it could come to aggression. When you interact with anyone, the possibility should always exist in your mind that it could turn to aggression. So that's why strategy is always valuable. Letting people know your weaknesses, no, this is not something you should let happen. And people shouldn't expect that of you, because that's the same thing on their side. They should always be in defense mode matter of fact, they should always be in defense mode. Only person they should be able to be that open with is their mate, their female mate, or whoever they consider to be their mate. And your feelings have nothing to do with it. It doesn't matter how much your feelings hurt. If you're an idiot, you're an idiot. If you let people... If somebody can say something to you and call you an idiot, and you let any of that get to you, that's your problem. You are an idiot. If they say something that hurt your feelings, it's because what they were saying was true in some way or another, and you just didn't like it. That's what I found. Most people who don't like what's being said is because it's true. Labeling your feelings and finding ways to express those emotions. No, you don't need to label shit. Express those emotions in a healthy way takes strength. No. Being able to express yourself when it's necessary. Strategy, wisdom, being able to use your strategies to express your emotions when it becomes necessary. If somebody's attacking you, you need to be able to express your desire to defend yourself on the same at the same level that that person is aggressively coming at you. If it's just in dialogue, okay, then you need to be able to express yourself comfortably and with force, if necessary, through dialogue. But no matter what, if you're knowledgeable about what you're talking about, you're gonna want it to be the person who comes out on top. You're gonna want to be the one who basically wins the conversation, the conflict, whether it be through verbal disagreement or physical, because like I said, it can always turn to physical, depending on what the other person chooses to use as a verbal slight. And your feelings have nothing to do with it. It's knowing how to interact, how to engage with someone. You never let someone get the upper hand on you, and you never submit to someone unless they're right. Then it's okay for you to say, okay, you're right, you got that one, my bad. But to be wrong and getting embarrassed, why are you getting embarrassed? If they're right, they're right. You just say they're wrong and move on from there. They're right or they're wrong and move on. If you are embarrassed of what you do, it's because of what came out is because you wasn't supposed to be doing it, and you knew that you wasn't supposed to be doing it. So don't do it. Change your ways. It's on you. Walking away, whether you're walking away trying to convince anybody that you're infallible is ridiculous. That's weakness on your part. Trying to prove somebody, trying to prove to somebody that you're definitely something that you're not. Because everybody's human. Everybody makes mistakes. So being infallible on the surface is a oxymoron. Whether you're walking away from a goal because the effort it takes to get there isn't a top priority. Whoa. Well, then if you didn't really want the goal, okay. But if you really wanted that goal, that's something else. You're walking away from a heated dispute because you know nothing productive is going to happen. Would you do that? Walking away doesn't mean you're copping out. I would never walk away from a heated dispute, no matter what, unless it's a stupid dispute. Of course, then I would walk away. But if it's not a stupid, idiotic dispute, and I'm trying to make a major point, I would never walk away until I made my point. Never walk away. Never walk away unless it's stupid. In fact, and this says, from your goal because the effort it takes to get there isn't a top priority, because you haven't done, your goal isn't a top priority. If the goal isn't a top priority and your efforts aren't a top priority, then the whole thing is garbage on its face. Why would you put yourself in that position? In fact, it takes strength to step away from something that isn't working out, especially when you're devoted a lot of resources to a task or a person. But walking away might show you're willing to act in accordance with your values, even though you might face some ridicule. Even though you might face some ridicule. Okay, I don't understand that. If it's that much important, dedicate so much time and effort. If it's not beneficial and you walk away, yeah, I can understand that. But if it's something that you really wanted, doing things for other people is a no-no, especially if you dedicated resources. You should worry about yourself first at all costs, and then others secondary or at third at best. I like to be helpful, but not if it's going to be costing me more than it costs that person who I'm trying to help. So I don't know about what that statements are supposed to mean. Let's move on. Improving yourself. Some people roll their eyes at someone who is reading a self-improvement book. They're usually the same people who laugh at overweight people for hitting the gym. No, that sounds stupid. One has nothing to do with the other one. Because usually self-improvement books usually are telling you some crap that some other individual came up for their life. Maybe that might work for you and maybe not. So, and most of the times people who are reading books are not trying to do shit. They already know what they need to do. They just want to show people that they're trying to change instead of just fucking changing themselves and doing the work. Because hitting the gym only takes going to the gym and doing the work. You don't need a self-improvement book. You don't need to read up about it. Just go to the gym. People there at the gym will help you. Bettering yourself. It depends on what you're trying to better yourself. If you're trying to learn something, then you shouldn't be reading a self-help book. You should be reading something about that topic that you want to improve about yourself. Trying to become a better person shows you want to create positive change in your life, whether you join a support group or attend therapy, listen to self-help podcasts, attend spiritual retreats, desire self-growth is a sign of strength. Growth in what way? How are you trying to grow? Growth in people is a fallacy. People are not growing. They're basically the same. Wow. Sorry, Friday the 13th is on, and they got this chick walking. She kind of has some nice stuff going on. Which one is this? Which one is Friday the 13th? Oh, part 2. Yeah. It's part in the beginning. Yeah, it's before people start getting murked. It's a girl in blue jeans walking down a path, and they're showing she has a nice figure for a slim white girl. So anyway, really nice figure. So anyway, self-help is only something you need to do is if you think you need. It depends on what you need help in. I can't even talk about this because it depends on what you think you need help in. I think you only need help in yourself if you want trying to learn something, and that's when you need to read something to help improve yourself. If you're weak at something, you just need to strengthen that is what you're weak at. I don't understand self-help. Staying calm. Staying calm, yeah, well, of course. That's what I'm saying. Nobody can fuck with you. You get out of hand because you want to. Can you believe she just stood there? I should have given him a piece of my mind. Comments like this imply people who remain calm lack the courage to stand up for themselves. This person right there believes it. Later for what comments, this person who are saying it knows they should have said something, but they were too out of words or they didn't know what they was talking about in the first place, so they had to keep their mouth shut and eat what they was being told because they knew that other person was right. That's usually when people stay quiet. That's not staying calm. Staying calm is when somebody's pushing you and you know you can't beat them, so you don't act out of hand. But even then, you shouldn't stand up for yourself and take those lumps, because that's just going to make the person keep coming at you. So staying calm is not always the best action. And let me see, I can't believe she just stood there. If that, to me, that means that person should have done something, but stood there and took it when they shouldn't have. That's not staying calm. That's weakness. That's every sign of weakness that could be shown when you do nothing in the face of somebody who you should be acting out. This is when you should not stay calm. I would have given him a piece of my mind. No, if you could have, you would have, and you should have. If that was the act, that right there, these two statements are the statements of people who should have done exactly what they were thinking of. For whatever reason that they believed that they didn't. And that's weakness. That is weakness. This is not strength. This is not staying calm. This is being silenced by fear. Fear, whatever. This is being silenced by fear. This is not strength. Being able to regulate your emotions. This is not regulating your emotions. They're saying they stood there out of some kind of being stagnated. You've been shocked into stillness by something somebody else did or said. You've been shocked. You've been placed in a state of shock by something someone else did or said, and you did not respond. This is out of an act of fear and a lack of understanding of yourself. Being able to regulate, okay, that's not to say you won't feel angry. Anger can be a very healthy and helpful emotion. Exactly. But it does mean you'll be able to behave in a productive manner even when you feel upset. No, it doesn't. How does this mean by being, this is just going to make you more upset because you're going to be pondering that. You're going to be overly sensitive about this. It's going to stay in your mind forever. I shoulda, woulda, coulda. This is what I shoulda, woulda, coulda, because this is what this is saying. I shoulda, woulda, coulda. Somebody else is saying it for the first person. Oh, they shoulda, woulda, coulda. This one is the person themselves saying, I shoulda, woulda, coulda. And it's too late then. It's too late. This is why you should know yourself, having knowledge of oneself. If you have the knowledge, somebody can't do this to you. All right, people, let me get out of here, man. This is utterly ridiculous what people say here. Mental muscles. All of this is weakness. You're not building anything. You are weakening yourself, and you're praising yourself for your weakness. And you're shuttering yourself away for your weakness. You're guaranteed to continue to be a dork, geek. There's a hierarchy even amongst nerds. There's nerds, geeks, dorks, goobers. There's all of these. And the worst of them all are probably the dorks, because they're the ones most likely to stay there and take it. They have no friends, not even amongst the nerds. The complete dorks are the ones, they have no knowledge. They're just awkward. They don't have no education. Nerds and geeks, they at least have knowledge so that in the future, they will be able to become somebody substantial, maybe. But those who have none of that, those are the dorks. They're just awkward, silent people who sit in the corner, who let people mess with them. And that's understand. We understood that. That's what all of those movies back in the days was all about. There's a hierarchy in every subset of society. Every subsect of society, even amongst dorks, there's a hierarchy. There's going to be somebody who the group looks up to and somebody the group shits on. So you want to believe that all of this garbage is making you stronger? Nobody. Stop fostering the weak. I'm out of here, people. I've been on here for 3 hours, man. Haven't gotten anybody come through, check me out. That's all right. We're gonna keep it up. It's my fault. I didn't put up the promotional stuff early enough, but this okay. We're gonna promote Mike. Say Mike is a story that's gonna be coming to you soon. We're gonna stick with it until we get it out on Indiegogo. I'm out. Woo! Yeah. Let's go, y'all. I'm out. Woo! All right. Hey, come out. Woo. Come out, Craig. Woo. Come out. That's right. That's right.